Hey, I'm Squeak.
Hey, it's your pal Mega Snoop.
Hey, I'm Smirky.
Hello, I'm Gear.
And you're listening to the Speedchat Only podcast.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Speedchat Only podcast. I'm your host for the day. My name is Matt, or Gear. We also have Noah, or Squeak, Mega Snoop and Aaron, Smirky, and Michael, and our special guest for the day. He can also be known as Mike_feedback, MicTheMicrophone, or Zach. How you doing, buddy?
I'm sorry, you said Michael, and I was like, is that me? Is it me, Michael the microphone?
We're gonna have so many messed up names. It's gonna be awesome.
I've had so many people say Michael the microphone, and I'm just like, yep, that's it. That's me. I'm Michael.
That's why I made sure to say Zach.
Michael the microphone.
I want you to know
Actually,
there's
for
only like
today-
4 people that I respond to when they say Zach, and like 2 of them are my parents. And anytime I respond to Mike, they look at me like, what are you looking for?
Do you want me to redo the intro, by the way, so I don't call
No,
you that?
no. It's fine. It's fine.
Actually, I think.
I mean,
fun for
I
today if
have
we
an
all
I have an
went by
IMB
Mike. What do you
I have
guys
an
think?
IMBD. Everybody knows. Don't call me Zach.
Don't come.
You haven't earned that right.
Well, thank you for joining us today, Mike.
It is so
Appreciate you
great to
being here.
have you on the show, by the way. I've been such a, I've watched a lot of your content throughout the years, and it's so great to finally
I think-
get to have a sit down and stuff with you.
I think
Thank you.
me and Noah, we started watching Mike when he did his Persona 5 playthrough. right?
Yes, that's
Oh
that's
my
you,
God.
like, exposed me to him. Yeah.
You know what's
Expose.
what's effed up is that was like I want to say 3, almost 4 years ago now.
Yeah.
I actually
Wow.
scrolled back. I scrolled back through like all 2,000 some odd videos on the channel, and when I saw some of the dates on these, I was startled, to be honest with you.
In a long time.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I
it just
remember being. Yeah, go ahead.
no, I was just saying it just doesn't feel like a long time. You know, I've been doing this for 6 years on Twitch. It does not feel like that long.
Yeah, it feels like yesterday I was like glued to my computer screen watching you do your playthrough. It's crazy.
I think I still have a screenshot of just that big nose guy looking at Maid Morgana.
Yes.
I think I still have that screenshot. Yeah, I'm gonna put it in the group chat.
I can't wait to play Royale and put Maid Morgana back into play.
Fantastic.
All right. Well, as for our icebreaker for today, what was everyone's first game that they remember playing?
Kirby's Adventure on the NES.
The
Old
NES.
school.
Yes, grew up on the NES. My dad had originally gotten it as a gift from his mother, and he let my brother play it up until he was about 7 or 8, and then his grades tanked, as they do, and they took away the NES. Then when my parents divorced, my dad busted it out and was like, "You ever play Duck Hunt?" I'm like, "What the fuck's a Duck Hunt?" And so we fire up the old knob TV, we plug that bad boy in, and next thing I know, I'm sitting down playing Kirby, Mario, and Duck Hunt like a fiend, and that was the first game I ever beat.
And it all went downhill from there.
I still have the
It
cart.
just doesn't get better than that.
You still have the cartridge?
I still have the cartridge and the console.
Wow.
Amazing.
Does it still work?
Wow.
Yep, all of it still works.
Wow. That's crazy.
I
My
keep
dad
that
used to
stuff in
own-
good condition.
My dad used to own a Atari 2600, and he told me, he was like, yeah, it stopped working, and I was like, oh no, Dad, you should have had it work more, please. I want to play Atari games on the 2600.
Is it wrong that when you said it stopped working, I was like, well, tell it to get on unemployment or find a new fucking job. God, you ain't special.
Self-employment.
What about Smirky or Aaron? What do you guys got?
Michael, you go.
Okay. I just remember the earliest memories I have are like when I was 5. So I just remember playing like my Game Boy Advanced a lot. So there were games like Mario Golf, like the Toadstool Tour was like that might not be the right like console or whatever, but I just remember playing Mario Golf on like my Game Boy religiously. I remember playing like this rescue game, I forget what it's called, where like the buildings were on fire and you had to like put the fires out.
That's called California.
as a native Sacramento, I don't even know what I would call myself. Just as a resident of Sacramento, I take particular offense to that.
Everything is on fire.
Oh,
Literally.
God. Yeah, and then that's where I really first got exposed to Pokemon as well. So like Ruby.
Hey, Pokemon's
and
a
stuff
great
like
game,
that.
dude.
Pokemon's
Good,
awesome.
good times. What
My
about
first-
you, Aaron?
All right, so for me, my first ever video game that I can even remember was called Gizmos and Gadgets. I know it's not the first video game I played, but it's the first one I remembered. My mom claims that there was some game with Howie Mandel on a farm where you could click the pigs. Dude, my mom will swear up and
what?
down and tell you that story.
Squeal
I
or
don't
no
know.
squeal.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, how is that even a real game? Howie Mandel on a farm? Like, I heard old McDonald, but I don't know. That's ridiculous. So the first one I remember playing was called Gizmos and Gadgets. It was a CD-ROM. You put it in the computer that has integrated graphics and 250 gig or like megabits of RAM or whatever it has. But it ran, and you would run through these little warehouses and beat up chimps by throwing bananas at them, and you would collect different parts to try to build like a race car vehicle that you would race the guy with the giant mustache. He looked like Dr. Eggman if he was skinny. You'd have to look it up.
You mean Waluigi?
Yeah, it was like Waluigi, dude. It was basically Waluigi, but it was short. I don't know. It was like Waluigi and Wario had like a weird love child. I don't know how.
Waluigi had a growth stunt.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was like baby Waluigi.
They took my knees.
So anyway, I probably played through and beat that game 7 times over by the time I was 6 years old. But that was my first ever video game, and nobody knows what that is. Nobody's ever heard of it, and that's okay.
No, I was more shocked at the Howie Mandel on the farm thing. Honestly,
Howie Mandel had a farm. Deal or no deal?
Dude, I feel like Howie Mandel wouldn't own a farm because he's like a total germaphobe. Like, I feel like he'd be like, "Oh, I don't want to touch that slop." Like, I don't know, man. I feel like
you might be right on that.
I feel like Howie
As
wouldn't own
for-
a farm.
As for me, I still play this game to this day. 102 Dalmatians, Puppies to the Rescue. It is the first game I ever remember playing. It was made back in like 2000. It was a CD-ROM. It's about the old movie 102 Dalmatians. Well, it's 102. That's because it's a sequel. And you go around
It's a
saving your brothers and
sequel?
sisters. It's a sequel, yeah.
I can't believe the first game you ever played was a sequel, dude. Not a real fan.
Wow.
It's more of like an explore at your own pace, collect bones. Fun fact: there's a total of 100 dogs in that game, so 2 die. So,
Wow.
moving on from there.
That's all right. It's the same thing in Kingdom Hearts. There's only 99 Dalmatians to find.
True.
Wait,
Dude,
no.
they're losing
Wait,
one every game, I'm telling
wait,
you.
wait. We're all stupid. We're not counting the parents.
No, the parents are included in that game.
What?
Because you save 96 puppies, you play as 2 puppies, and then you have parents. That's 100 Dalmatians. You're missing 2.
Damn,
Two
Cruella
puppies
got
that were
him,
never
dude.
found.
They're dead. You killed them.
Damn.
That's the alternate ending when you get all the Dalmatians.
The secret ending where you find out what happened to the last 2 puppies.
You just come up on 2 graves and it's raining
God.
out.
I'm sorry. I'm reminded of the Barnyard video game.
Oh
We're
my
just
god.
Oh
yeah.
my god! I think did you stream that too? 'Cause
I
think
did, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
Unfortunately,
I'll never-
that's a masterpiece.
I will just never forget. Let's see how you squirt.
Yeah.
Not only that, but it was just so jarring when all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it's just like everybody on the farm was happy. Then Otis's father died.
Oh my god.
Just out of nowhere, just immediately, tombstone. Otis grieving. The man is dead.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my. Okay. All right. Well, we've heard a little bit about your first game, so since that goes right into our good first topic.
Wow. Okay.
You know how you grew up with games.
No
What
one
was your
Nice.
gaming
Noah
experience like?
answer?
Nice. Okay. Yeah.
No one
No,
didn't
alright.
answer.
Okay.
I thought you answered with your like Atari thing. I thought that was
Oh,
your
maybe
answer.
he did. I don't think he gave a full answer. He just
My
talked about
first
how his
video
dad had an
game-
Atari.
was the Sonic 2 on the Genesis.
But he was talking about how his dad had an Atari. He
Yeah.
didn't, like,
I
give an
didn't
answer,
play it.
though.
My my first
He
video
had
game
it. It was a fun
mention.
mention.
Sonic 2
I
on the
thought you
original
took your turn
Genesis,
with that.
and my father used to be part of this like a cappella group that used to practice downstairs for some reason. So when they used to do a cappella, I grew up in a very musical family, so I played video games while listening to them do a cappella, so that was pretty fun. And then when I couldn't beat a level, like one of the guys would come over and he'd be like, "Oh, here, let me show you how it's done." And he'd like blaze through freaking like Chemical Plant or whatever, and just it was really fun. Here you go. That's it.
That's fair, though. Chemical Plant is really where boys became men.
Yeah.
Did he at least
Anyone
beatbox
could get
while
through
he
Green
helped
Hill.
At least
Chemical Plant was tough.
one time I did beat Chemical Plant. I did become a man that day at the age of 3.
I'm proud of you.
Anyways, now we can move on to our next topic, Matt.
Now we can segue back to you, Matt.
So, Mike, you said you played some games when you grew up, right? You played a game or two.
Video games? What do I look like, a gamer to you?
You see this guy?
If you got to win in Fall Guys, you're better than me in my book. All right, my man.
Wait.
So, like, tell us how you grew up with games, as like going from childhood, teenagehood to like the rebellious stage of no, it's not a phase, Dad. Go ahead.
So with me, it was basically I was only exposed to video games through relatives and friends for the most part. My parents didn't have a console until after they divorced. And then I started out on the NES, moved to the N64, which became my diehard favorite. And eventually I just became really engrossed in gaming as high school years kind of sucked. Parents went through custody battles and it was just a huge mess. And I found a lot of escape in gaming. And then in 2011, I got my first gaming PC and started doing streaming very loosely after I realized I had the ability to stream at god-awful quality. I don't want to talk about it. I cannot stress this. My very first capture setup was a crappy... You know what an easy cap is?
Oh, those are so bad.
Oh, man.
They came out trying to like fight the HD PVR because they're like, we're cheaper, and you're like, hell yeah, you are. This is
$12, baby. Let's go.
It looked like a mall security camera, dude. It was awful.
I still have the original circuit board of the easy cap that I bought when I first started. I have that in storage right now, preserved, because I refuse to get rid of it.
It's
Such
an
a relic.
antique.
It's held together
At
by
this point,
fucking
it's out
tape,
of spite.
dude.
You're like, no, nobody else needs to see this. It's staying with me forever.
The USB piece is bent. The fucking shell is held together by tape. I mean, it was a mess. The audio ports came broken, by the way.
Oh.
So my very first setup had the EasyCap capturing composite video, and then I was capturing audio by pointing my speakers at my Blue Yeti.
Sounds
Jesus.
about right.
That sounds about right, honestly.
I feel like we've all had a similar start to streaming. I know when I started streaming at like 480p, 16 frames per second on Toontown.
Hot.
And that was the best my computer could handle.
See, I was one of those dudes who thought if you could run the game at 1080p, it meant that you could stream it at 1080p, and that's all I'm gonna say. I've had some learning curves. But yeah, as for like gaming now, as far as like how I grew up with it, now it's just curtailed into me being super big about not only archival, but being able to capture and showcase these games in their highest native quality possible through upscalers.
Yeah, like I've heard you did a lot through upscalers, and we can move to that topic next. Like, what is your experience with like this whole tech thing? Because like what I've seen you be able to do, especially with like something like Sly Cooper or some of the old games that you've played recently, like that shit is crisp.
Yeah, it is.
Like,
So I actually got into that because when I first moved over to Twitch, I came from this place called livestream.com. And it was pretty, livestream.com was pretty all right for a while. They used this program called Procaster, which could capture any designated little square, rectangular, whatever shape area on your screen that you wanted. But it wasn't very good. And I kind of refused to move over for a long time because I was just very prideful, and Twitch's UI was very bleh to me.
Booty.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, the UI before they got bought out by Amazon was butts. But then I ended up coming over to Twitch during the big speedrun craze, like when speedrunning was just the hot ticket on Twitch. And it was during Narcissa Wright's frickin' 1820 any percent run of The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time.
I think I remember
Nobody?
that.
Oh, man.
I think I remember that.
So this is like 6, almost 7 years ago. But Narcissa Wright's playing on the IQ, and it is this crappy little Chinese knockoff console that outputs only composite. And because of that, the video looks, like butt, as composite does. And I remember sitting there thinking to myself as I was watching this, I was just like, wow, this is super fucking cool, but this looks like shit. Is there any way I can make that look better? And then I stumbled into Trihex's stream because Narcissa hosted him.
And I ended up that is.
Yeah, dude. So I stumbled into Trihex's stream back when he was doing Yoshi's World speedruns. And I remember looking at his thing like, oh, he must be using emulator. And I scrolled down and he's like, no, what you're seeing is all off of a console. I'm using this. And I learned about the XRGB Mini because of that. And from there, it was just a rabbit hole downward. And now it's consumed my life. And I'm losing everything bit by bit every day.
Yeah, I feel like I was going to say something about like the speedrunning community and just like when he was talking about 6 or 7 years ago. That's like way before my time. When I first started live streaming, wasn't until 2015. Not that I haven't attempted, like as my old persona on my old channel. I always tried to do like live streaming, but I couldn't actually live stream until I got this PC right here. Like, if you remember my first Toontown streams through the laptop that were like less than 30 FPS at 720p, and I couldn't have the webcam and Skype going at the same time.
Yeah, that was.
Yep, I remember that.
those.
I remember that specifically.
Yeah, otherwise,
Because I also remember your first streams were like under the Toontown Rewritten tab, not the Toontown Online tab,
Yeah.
and you just got no one watching you because of that.
I mean, nobody watches me anyway, so that's fair. But
Say!
the fact of the matter is that I had tried streaming before, like through a laptop, trying to go through my HD PVR and do all this really complicated setup. Like,
Did you also use the Hauppauge HD PVR?
I did have a Hodgepodge HD PVR.
I'm so
With
glad
the-
I
with-
wasn't the only one with the Hogger Pogger.
Yeah, right. And it had like the 5 cables with all the different colors.
Oh my god, and it had that really cool green strip that made you think it was badass, but it was actually the most clunky, ineffective piece of shit you've ever used in your life because it had no direct plug into OBS. I can't stress this. You had to window capture its own program and then crop that in order to make it look good. And I thought
It was awful.
I thought it looked great, you guys. I was capturing like a sub 320p image off the preview screen and stretching that out going, HD graphics.
Right.
with the F.
But that's exactly my point, is that like if you're trying to get into streaming nowadays, there's so many, like OBS is free to download and it walks you through like Streamlabs OBS with like setting up alerts, and the basic PC nowadays, if you just buy a regular PC off the market, it can stream a regular game like Toontown or whatever you want to play, Roblox, it doesn't matter, right? And so all of this is so user friendly. Back in 2013, 2014, even 2015 when I started, it wasn't this easy.
Man,
we really had to work on making it look good.
I was here when OBS Classic was a thing, and I know very few people who know what the hell OBS Classic was. I was here when OBS Studio didn't have a browser source plugin.
Unfortunately.
I was OBS Classic.
I think I remember OBS Classic.
baby.
That was
Yep.
the original one, right?
Yep, that was the OG
Yeah,
OBS.
that was back in like. Yeah.
That was when I had to green screen my own alerts.
Yep,
Yes!
you had to do that.
Yes!
You had to do that
I
with
used to do that.
Nightbot, with everything. Yep.
Oh
Yeah.
God.
I remember using OBS to try and broadcast to livestream.com once, but they had an exclusivity thing with their program, so you could only broadcast at 500 kbps. And I said to myself, wow, OBS is shit. And then I moved to Twitch, and I'm like, wow, I'm shit.
Man, that's just a mood in life. 2020. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm shit.
Right? It's just like you've spent so much time by yourself, and you're like, wow, it's me. I'm shit.
I'm the one.
It's been me all along.
God, it sounds like you've been through a shit ton with how much software you've learned how to use and hardware you've learned how to use.
Yeah.
You said you had a few like rare devices on you, like rare like consoles that you've bought off of eBay.
Oh
What
man,
those?
so I have a few. I have a not quite pristine, but a like stupid high quality, good condition Pikachu N64, which I'm very, very proud of. Still got the controller with that. Yes.
Really?
Oh yes. The LEDs inside still work. It's very exciting. I never use it though because I want to keep it in really good shape.
So you're like a collector with these kind of
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of trying to not only have a retro console that I can use for optimized capture, but I like having them just for like, a standalone console that I can say is untouched. That's why I have the original NES that my dad gave me, as well as a modded one for like RGB output that has the N64 multi-out on the back. I also have, and this has since been retired, but I have this double stack N64 cart called a Wide Boy.
A wide boy.
It's called a what? It sounds hilarious, right? It's called a Wide Boy 64, and this came in 3 variations. And they were primarily given out to like convention heads, magazine editors, and game show hosts so that you could pop this bitch into an N64 and play Game Boy Color or Game Boy Advance games on a TV.
That's so weird. I feel like why didn't everyone have those?
So get this, the circuitry inside of it is identical to the Game Boy player on the GameCube. They just didn't commercialize it for the N64 because it's a really awkward double stack. Like, you know how tall your N64 would get when you plugged in a Game Shark and an N64 cart?
I think so. Yeah.
It's that tall out the gate.
Oh my God.
Oh,
When I say it's a double stack, I mean that baby tall.
That's a wide boy.
That's a wide boy.
a big leggy.
Like, it's not gonna fit on that shelf in between your TV and your Blu-ray player. You know?
I want you to know, I went the extra mile one day and decided to put in the Game Shark with the Wide Boy on top of it, with a Game Boy Color Game Shark on top, and then a Game Boy Color game on top of that. It was so tall.
That's a tall boy.
This man's literally like rivaling. I can't.
The
say
Sega
words.
Mega Stack.
He was like fighting the Empire State Building at that point. He's like challenging it.
But yeah, I ended up finding that one day on a whim. Somebody was selling one on eBay, and it turned out to be real. I got very lucky on that. I think I ended up paying $1,000 for it.
Oh my god.
And this was back in like 2015, and ever since then I've just been sitting on it. And yeah, it's a super rare collector's item. I ended up sending it around to a whole bunch of RGB and tech enthusiasts who did documentation on it. So everything's been thoroughly checked out across the board for this. It's been sent to people who have done videos on it. So it's not something that I'm just hoarding to myself, unlike that dude with the Kingdom Hearts disc. I'm looking at you.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
I
that
saw
made me
that.
really mad.
What?
Oh my god!
So there's this dude who had a disc
yeah,
from a Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories event from back in like 2002, right? And he ended up showing it on Reddit, and everyone was like, yo, can you show us what's on the disc? And he's like, no, I don't want to upload it online because then it'll lose its value and it won't be as rare anymore. And they're like, wow, you're the worst kind of collector.
Wow, that's the worst kind of person.
Yeah. Yeah. It's awful because he doesn't want to archive it because he wouldn't.
But he doesn't even want to sell it, though. He wants
I-
it to maintain a high resale value, even though he's not going to sell it. So what's the point?
Yeah, like, why?
But there's
You know?
no
Yeah, there
point.
really is no point at all.
Yeah.
That's just
Well,
a testament to
alright,
how far people will go to make themselves seem like they have more value than they actually do. Like there are so many people with like game collections and stuff that are like, I blah 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 blah, I don't do blah blah blah, and I'm just like, yeah, can you like play the video games? Like you have all these video games, why don't you like play them and stuff?
Listen,
You know?
straight up me with like all of my games, all of my action. I have a whole bunch of Gundam action figures, and I remember
Right.
a while back I got this really rare one. It's called Wing Zero Kai, and it's like this in between evolution figure between Endless Waltz version of Wing Zero. I sound like a fucking nerd. I'm just gonna get to the point here.
Here we go.
So, anyways, it's a really rare figure, and I ended up finding this, and I paid something like $90 for it. And I was gonna sit on it and let it appreciate because it's up to like $350 now or something. Last I checked. No, my ass opened it. I played with it recently. I was like, it's a toy. It's meant to be played with.
You know whose
Yeah.
game collection I really appreciate? You guys watch Scott the Woz?
Yes,
Man,
I
that guy's
do.
game
I've
collection
seen it.
is awesome. That thing is crazy.
Have you seen Nintendo's game collection as well?
Yes.
Nintendo
Yes, I
is
have.
such a cool fucking game room.
That is so cool. Freaking love, dude. Game. I wish when I get my own house, I want a game room where I can like have old school consoles and like new consoles and just have like shelves of games and magazines and Nintendo powers and just be able to appreciate all these games that I can play and then treat it like a Steam library and just not play any games.
Man, you see,
Yeah.
you see, if you go that route, you got to do what I did. You got to get yourself a PVM, and a PVM is basically a high grade CRT monitor that makes it look
Ooh.
like you're playing emulator quality off the console. It's disgusting.
Ooh, that's
Um,
awesome.
so
Sounds
I-
like new tech.
It's really old tech. That's the thing.
Oh,
It's
What?
like deliriously old tech. I'm talking like 1980s and 90s. It's just Yes,
What?
No
it's-
way.
Yes, it's
so it's like a diamond in the rough, basically.
well, because it's optimized for that particular output of the time. It's optimized for 240p, 480i, 480p output. So when you send those consoles, those old school consoles, which natively output that, the TV's like, oh yeah,
I understand.
It's that perfect
This-
fit, it just slides in real smooth.
See, now what I did though was I committed full heresy, and I have a whole bunch of equipment that I use for not just upscaling but also downscaling. And I took a PlayStation 4, downscaled it to 480p, and converted it so that I could play it on that CRT.
But why?
Because full
Why
stop.
not?
Full stop, and you're gonna laugh at me for this, but I got really sick of the fact that a lot of the TV shows I was watching were 4:3 aspect ratio, and I got sick of seeing the black bar borders, so I just plugged the console into the TV and stretched it out a little bit, and now I can watch
Actually, that's fair.
these old school
That
cartoons in
sounds
really
like
good
such a
aspect.
first world problem.
It is a problem quite literally only I could have, but I did it. Also playing FF7 Remake made it feel like I was playing Advent Children,
Oh,
which was outstanding. So I mean, little perks here and there. Also, Pokemon on it. Anyways, I digress. It was really cool.
I love Pokemon. My
I mean,
God.
like, hey, if you've got that equipment, you might as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I actually bought it for the sake of trying to do some daisy chaining to get other consoles through my OSSE scan converter, but it ended up crushing the signal pretty bad. But on the CRT, it doesn't matter because I'm crushing a 1080p signal down anyway, so fuck it.
God damn. All right. Well, I'm gonna switch the topic for a
No
bit
problem.
because I think
Absolutely.
we've expunged your tech experience and your game experience. So let me tell you a little story, and then we'll get right into the topic. So I was, I was a bit younger, maybe 5-10 years ago, somewhere in between. My friend said, "Hey, why don't you take a look at this video?" And I opened the video, and it's a video called Smile HD.
Oh!
So now, I watched it, was thoroughly disgusted, and then I decided to watch more stuff, and I came across something called Bronies React to Smile HD. Now, within that, I came across someone named MicTheMicrophone.
What a
in
loser.
Attack on Titan mask, reacting to it
Oh my
as well.
God.
Yeah,
I don't mean
remember
to.
that.
If this is a rough area for you, I apologize for bringing
This is
it
gonna.
up.
This is
What are you
gonna be a rough
talking about? That
segment.
was a great time in my life. What are you talking about?
So we're gonna use that to transition into Mike. I heard you were into MLP at some point. You were a big man in that area. So tell me a little bit about that.
So I'm still kind of into it. I watch the show, but I don't really participate in the community. I'm still friends with a bunch of the musicians, a couple of the artists and stuff like that, but I just kind of keep to myself and focus on Twitch. But I got my huge start doing music in that fandom, and that was really what got me into internet content creation, and I thrived off that for a number of years. I had a fucking blast doing not only music production on YouTube as well as like voice acting here and there, but I also got to go to conventions across the country. I was flown out there, all expenses paid, just to perform there, and it was a rush. It was absolutely spectacular getting that kind of opportunity. But in 2014, I really started to kind of lose my fire for it. There was a whole lot of really tense drama that turned me off to a lot of things, and I stopped having that fire for music and started looking more towards streaming and entertaining because I was like, wow, I really like this. This feels really nice. And then sure enough, I move over to Twitch where the delay isn't a minute and a half. And I'm like, oh my God, I can talk to people? I don't have to pretend this is a Game Grumps episode?
The song that got me interested in you, and you might be thinking I'm about to say September, but it was actually Good Old Days. That song is really good for it being 8 years old. That was one of the first songs I listened, and I was like, oh man, this guy's really good. And
I think for me it was Nightmare Night.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one too.
The amount of times my friends hit me up and they're like, I just listened to Nightmare Night. And I'm like, oh God, it's October, isn't it? It's coming.
October again.
I can't escape. It's that time of year. Although I'll tell you what, I need to later today. I need to fulfill a promise I made last night while playing Jack and Daxter, and that is I need to remake September, and it's just September, but I can't remember what happened. And it's literally I'm just going to rewrite the song, and it's literally just going to be I can't remember what happened in September. I just can't remember. That's going to be the whole song.
That's a shit post I would make. That's amazing.
Yeah, and I'm even going to redo the voice. I'm going to just redo everything. So at the end, it's going to be like, stop him! He's trying to remember!
He's trying to remember. Oh man.
Because that was you, Tombstone, I think BDP, and who else was a part of that?
No, it was just me and Tomb. BDP
Oh, really?
BDP made like an animation to it afterwards, like a music video. But
Oh,
otherwise,
that's what I remember.
the original song was just Tomb, and then I did a cover of it.
Wow.
Yeah, fun fact, most of the original music that came out of the MLP fandom was a product of what was called a Toast Beard, which was a weekly or bi-weekly competition where musicians of any caliber would get together and they would be given a theme for that particular event, and you would have to make a song according to that theme. And it wasn't really a contest so much, it was just a fun event where a bunch of musicians would get together, collaborate, or work by themselves depending on the theme, and then they'd all just pitch their music in.
Yes, I've seen a lot of waves come out because I was very much into like the music pipe side because the music in there super goddamn good. For example, one of my old follow alerts, I ripped Assertive by Skybound, and they were part of that fandom as well. So like I was a big part of the music part, but not so much the show. Like the music was really, really good, and like some people like I really enjoyed watching was like Silvahound. I know Twitch was a big part of that.
Mhm.
Toaster. Really like Toaster
Wim
stuff.
Toaster. I know Simstorm, I think, was a part of that. Like a lot of just people came out of that I still follow to this day.
I still watch Odyssey on Twitch.
I love Travis. I love him
Travis,
so much.
he follows me on
dude.
Twitter. Travis is a really nice guy.
I need to tell you, Travis is by far one of the most humble and quite frankly talented fucking individuals I've ever met in my life. Because he's one of these guys where when you meet him, he is and I am very remiss to use this word, but he's very meek. He's very, very, very polite, very humble. He's high energy, but you can tell he wants to make a good impression with you, and he's very respectful. But when the man takes the stage and he opens his mouth, you're like, what the fuck? You can actually do that? That's not just a recording thing?
God. Yeah,
I
I still
also,
watch his Twitch stuff.
That's actually like a very small world, because I started watching I started paying a lot more attention to one of your friends, Mike Lav. I started paying attention to to like a lot of their music, and I've been a fan of theirs for a long ass time, and I was there with their like a lot of their live shows, and they are brilliant.
Oh, Lav.
What they do.
I have been friends with Lav since 2011. I have known her for the long haul of the MLP days, and she has been a tried, true, and fast friend to me. And again, I come back to how the fuck are my friends so talented? Because no, I have to tell you, Lav's a wizard, and there's no other way to explain it. Because the woman works at a rate and at a level that I have never seen anybody work at. So some of you guys are familiar with my donation alerts on Twitch, right?
Yeah.
Right.
They're all remixes of Harry Einfeld's Loads of Money, right?
Right.
Lav did all of those, for starters. Second, she did each of those remixes in about 10 minutes apiece, from scratch.
What? No.
Whoa.
Yes, from scratch.
10 minutes?
She picked out a fucking theme and was like, all right, I'm going to roll with this. I'll be right back. And then she just drops the sickest fucking shit I have ever seen in my life on my lap. And I'm just like, this is perfect. This is everything I could want and more.
Oh my god, that's
It's
impressive.
fantastic.
And so all of those are custom made, and she just made those from scratch, from the ground up. This is a woman who will just look at a genre of music and go, yeah, I can probably do that. I'm just sits there, spends an hour. Yeah, I've deconstructed it. I'm gonna make a song. I'll be right back.
I wish I could have stems that are such as good as the ones that she uses. Like, freaking
God.
crazy.
She is remarkably talented. Like, I would argue genius level when it comes to music, because she has that level of classical training that you need in order to read notation and shit like that.
Right.
But then she has the tenacity to just sit down, look at something, and go, yeah, I'm gonna learn how to do that. I'll be right back.
And that takes quite a lot of effort.
Well,
Not
and
anyone could just do that.
Oh yeah.
And the thing about her is that she is very much in the same boat as I am, in that, think about when I found that, oh my God. Yeah, so I'm actually going to see if I can find this file on my computer. Thank you for reminding me of that. Fen just reminded me there was a song that Fen had found a while back that she really liked, but the song was very flat, like it never really took off. It felt like it had a drop that was supposed to come there, but it never really happened. And so Lav was like, I'm going to fix this song really quick, and I'm going to send you the file because I just found it. She remade the song and made it fucking better. And it took her like, a half hour?
Half an hour?
Half an hour. Hold on.
Wait, is this the one where you played like during the Sly Cooper franchise thing?
No.
It's not different.
No. That's a different one that she made, and that one's also fucking hilarious and fantastic. No, this one's entirely different. This one's like an actual song, and it's fantastic. And the buildup is the normal song, but when it goes into the drop and has the added bass and shit, she added all of that stuff in. It was fantastic.
Listen to this.
Feel free to take a listen really quick, because it is mwah, chef kiss levels.
Dude,
of fucking good.
this drop is like spicy.
Mm-hmm.
It's like very glitch hoppy.
Let me listen to this. No, I love this.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Doesn't that fucking hit?
It hits hard. Oh my god.
She's so fucking talented. I cannot stress how goddamn talented she is. And she just decided, and to this day, the original song, if I were to pull that up, you would be like, ew.
Yeah,
What?
it probably would be. Oh my god, that is
In conclusion, the MLP fandom is extremely talented.
Like the art, the music, the writing and the animation, like some of y'all got some real talent, and I'm glad you guys got to express it in that fandom.
I gotta be honest. What's so bizarre about the MLP fandom is that the MLP fandom didn't foster art. It didn't foster animation or voice work or stuff like that. It fostered, of all things, music, and a lot of that's attributed to the dude who wrote most of the catchier songs, which is Daniel Ingram, as well as I forgot. I think his name is Stefan Andrews. No, I'm getting Will Anderson. No, Will Anderson and Stefan Andrews, I think anyways, the point is there are like 3 people on there that do all the music, and Daniel Ingram is responsible for making most of the catchier songs there. And were it not for the fact that MLP was largely musically inclined, a bunch of people wouldn't have wanted to remix that. I mean, Alex S, for example, was one of the people to really spearhead that. Actually, Odyssey was the first musician to make one of the remixes and kind of popularize that sort of thing. And then Alex comes out of here with fucking what is it? Jumps in with frickin' Party with Pinky, and it's just like, whoa.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
when he went to Andromulus, I followed him very closely, and I have not, but and he kind of like took a little bit of departure, I think. But man, he still makes some crazy good tunes. Loud in the Streets is really good dubstep.
I know for a fact that, yeah, you are correct in that. I think Daniel Ingram is a big proprietor to what the music is from the MLP fandom, because I think my 3 top favorite like raw ones without being remixed are Under Your Spell, Open Up Your Eyes, and everyone's favorite, This Day Aria. Those are my like top 3 all time from just the show in general, and I don't even watch it that much. It's just like those are just really good songs. It's just what it is.
Smile was a fucking bop, still is a bop.
True.
Think about that song constantly. That's like the one song that gets stuck in my head. 'Cause I love to see you smile, smile, smile. Yes,
Now,
I do.
From the MLP fandom, like you said, something happened, and then you went to Twitch on that one for content creation and all that. So what was that experience like from moving from that MLP fandom to just being on Twitch for content creation?
It was a little bit on the slow side, I'm not gonna lie. Up to that point, I had done live streaming. I'd done live streaming pretty loosely, but I had done it in a more casual setting where it was mostly like, hey, I'm gonna play this game, you guys can come and watch if you feel like it, or hey, I'm gonna watch a movie if you guys want to join me. And that's what I started out doing online originally. Was I joined an MLP Steam group and ended up joining up in the chat on that when it was like 100 people, and we ended up watching movies and stuff. And I was like, I want to host a movie night. So I started hosting movie nights through live stream, and someone was like, you should try streaming games. And that was the end of that. So that was the extent of my streaming for a number of years. And when I started to really lose fire with music and I started wanting to, I guess monetize streaming more and move towards it as a profession, I started moving over to Twitch, and it was slow. It was really slow at first. I think I started with, I posted a video on YouTube saying, hey, I'm going to start focusing on Twitch a little bit more. I'll be over here. I had 400 followers.
Wow.
From the 90, I want to say 3,000 subscribers I had at the time.
Jeez.
Mhm.
So
So
you were like passionate about your YouTube channel, but not your Twitch. They didn't willing, like we've experienced that with Toontown, because Toontown is is a category into where people only want to watch Toontown, and that's it. If you move somewhere else, you're pretty much dead.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And yeah, me, Aaron, and Smirky can all attest to that.
Yeah.
We've all moved on, or better, well, Smirky hasn't yet. He's getting there.
I'm working on it.
I've seen him play Fall Guys and Avengers lately. Okay, he's giving it an effort.
And I'm addicted to Among Us, but that's a whole nother topic.
Same.
Exactly.
Same. Like I'll tell you, like me and Noah are some of the biggest big brains I've ever played with Among Us, and he can tell whenever I'm lying, and it sucks.
We gotta play
Oh,
Among Us
no.
sometime.
We
Yeah, no,
really
just like-
do.
Yeah.
Bring us on anytime, man.
Yes.
Yeah, but going back to the whole the whole people not watching on Twitch thing, I completely understand that, just because I was probably the type of person to not understand Twitch. I only started live streaming on Twitch in 2015, and even at that time, all I did was live stream. I wasn't watching anybody because I didn't get it. I didn't understand the appeal. Why would I watch something live when nothing could happen for 2 hours, when I can instead watch a YouTube video that shows all the best parts, And so during those days, and I'm sure you're probably referencing like back 2013, 2014 when you first started streaming,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. So during those times, especially, YouTube was big and Twitch was still baby growing.
Well, the big thing
This
was
is
that
after Justin TV.
well, the thing is that a lot of live streaming was taking off in about 2011, 2012. 2013 was when the big boom happened. You had PewDiePie coming onto the scene. You had Game Grumps and stuff like that. Everybody really finally making the headway that they needed in order to get up into that upper echelon of subscribers and popularize gameplay stuff on YouTube as a whole. What ended up happening, though, was when I moved over in about 2014, a lot of people at the time really were just more interested in my music, which is understandable. That's what my YouTube was almost entirely, so I can't blame them for that. But it was one of these things where I very much wanted to try and pursue Twitch in a more serious fashion. And I was a little bit heartbroken at first that there wasn't as overwhelming a response as I was hoping for. But ultimately, I still had a really good core group of people from livestream.com who came over to Twitch with me. I ended up getting partner in, like, I want to say 6 months, which wasn't half bad. I applied 5 times.
Nice.
Yeah,
It's really fast.
I applied 5 times and got accepted because I had 150 viewer average. And keep in mind, this was back when they were like, you need to have 500 viewer average. Like,
500,
the hell
yeah.
are you on?
It was either
And then
500
back up partner to
or,
80.
it was either
A niche
500
game.
or a growing population in a small community. Which
Yeah.
is what I did for mine.
Exactly. That's what.
That was literally
That's
me,
literally what-
Michael, and Matt.
Yeah.
That's literally what we all did.
Yeah, and so, I ended up getting partner fairly quickly. Got super involved in the speedrunning community and was really into that through 2015. Then I got banned from GDQ for smoking weed.
Hell yeah.
Man, we were talking about that at lunch. I was like, man, GDQ sucks now.
It does. It does.
Oh man, so this is actually, I laugh at this story now because first off, just to preface this, the ban has since been lifted. I am welcome back at GDQ with open arms. I've since hosted there, and they're good folk. But 2015, I was outside the hotel, like far away from the venue, and a stray staff rolls up on me, my friend Majin Phil, my friend Zelly, and we're all just out there smoking a joint. And he's just like, "What are you guys doing?" And we're like, "Smoking." And he's like, "Is that weed?" And we're like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Give me your badges."
You're like, yeah, did you want ones?
Oh, wow.
So the
Ridiculous.
dude, yeah. So the dude takes my badge. Phil and Zelly don't give theirs up. I'm the only one who loses it because I was holding the J. So I'm like, fuck. And so I try to wander around and hang with my friends as best as I can. But this dude starts stalking me. And he says, "You're not allowed in venue space." And I'm like, this is a hotel. And he's just like, "Well, the hotel is venue space." And I'm like, "So what? Am I supposed to stay in my room?" And he's like, "Yeah, and if you don't, I'll call the cops." And I'm like, "Wow, you're fucking crazy, dude."
What in the...
So I ended up leaving that day and really fell out of love with speedrunning just because I was like, wow, F that.
Yeah, it's... Man, that sucks.
No, I mean...
It's crazy how much one person can just turn someone off from,
A whole
Oh, no,
a
no,
whole
no.
community.
See, here's the
Yeah.
thing. I was already starting to get a little bit burnt on speedrunning as it was, and it is by no means, that one dude is not a reflection of speedrunning as a whole. It is not a reflection of the amazing people I've met through speedrunning. It is just an unfortunate incident that ended up being a catalyst to me falling out of love with speedrunning, which in my opinion is not a bad thing because up to that point I was starting to get really frustrated with the amount of people who would not let me be upset that I lost a run. I was very much surrounded by a lot of toxically positive people. And I ended up having a breakdown on stream in which I scared away probably close to about 100 of my 150 concurrent viewers. And so I ended up starting over almost entirely late 2015, early 2016, and had to rebuild from that point. Yeah.
Jeez.
Because I know my boss Sly, he did Undertale speedrunning and pretty much had the same exact story because he was doing Genocide. And,
God.
He was doing the Genocide speedrun, and there was countless amount of people on the opposite side of the spectrum, the negative toxicity, saying you're doing the run wrong instead of the
Oh
positive
my God,
side.
yeah.
And since then, he's been burnt out of speedrunning that game ever since. And I can completely understand where you're coming from for that.
I think Sly's content's gotten better as he's aged. I think that, he's gotten way better.
I appreciate speedrunners in a huge way, and I appreciate people who have the tenacity to stick at a game for a long period of time or even stick at speedrunning for a long period of time if they're passionate about it. What I have found, though, is that speedrunning is not for everybody, and if you can't find the love and the joy in that content, then you're not going to be able to succeed with it, because much like any facet of what you do in life, if you're not having fun with it, you're probably not going to do very well at it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like that's why I
I
speedrun
agree.
102 Missions Puppies to the Rescue. That's why I speedrun that game because that's my growing up game. And I've loved that game to God's end. And nobody knows about that game, but I still have a fucking blast speedrunning it because it's so much pathing, and that's what I really enjoy about it. That and Sly Cooper. Those are the two that I've really enjoyed, and I don't think I'll ever burn out of.
See, that's why I only
I love
speedrun.
Sly.
That's why I only speedrun Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer for the Wii, which is literally on rails mini games for about 9 minutes, and I have the speedrun world record of 8 minutes and 59 seconds.
Fuck yeah!
Yo.
Sub 9, dude. Yeah. Woo! Sub 9.
I'm gonna beat it this Christmas, dude. We're going for the 857. It's possible.
Oh hell yeah! Oh hell yeah!
Dude, I'm talking optimized cooking, stamping, perfect icing spread. Dude, might even get a present skip. Santa better watch the fuck out.
We
I
pick
wanna
up the
watch
presents
that
twice to
I
manipulate
want to watch
RNG.
that.
It's actually hilariously awful. It's for the Wii to boot, so it's all motion controls.
That does sound
We
awful.
pick up this present twice to manipulate RNG, so we have a better later half.
Actually, it looks like I'm doing the hustle half the time. So I'm just sitting here like, stamp the cookie, roll the dough, shake those sprinkles on the go.
Shake those cookies on the floor.
Now, there is a speedrun game that I think both me and Aaron and Smirky can all attest to that is a very odd one to speedrun. Toontown.
Don't do it.
Toontown.
Don't
I
do
don't know
it.
if you've heard
No.
of it before. Toontown.
I only sped run it because I wanted another reason to hate the game. And it worked.
And Toontown speedrunning is an odd one because it is a multiplayer. It's a MMO that people can speedrun, and you can either do it solo or with a group of people. And I have the group of people record at 129 when it used to be 3 hours.
Which is ridiculous how much you brought that down. And can I just say, like, the only reason we can speedrun Toontown is as much as it's an MMO, it is segmented into very digestible sections, which can be completed in just a couple to a few hours.
Mhm.
So
The bird
I'm
would like to have a
actually
word
shocked.
with you.
Listen, you can still complete the entire Berg in under 7 hours, even though no
Oh,
one's
yeah.
done it,
Would
but
like
I've
to
come
have
pretty
a
darn
word
close.
with you.
could do
The
it.
amount of times I messed up on that proves you can do it. I was gonna do it a second time. I was ahead by an hour and a half, and my computer died. I had to get a brand new hard drive, and now I have no motivation to ever try it again.
Wow. Thank you so much, Aaron, for that amazing story.
Passionate
You know, I
enthusiasm.
I'm very passionate about the fact that I never want to try it
I
again.
could feel
But
your
it-
pain
it is
seeping through to
incredible
me.
that,
I
like-
could feel it in my deepest portions. You really are hurting, and I am so sorry.
That's how you know I'm a true speedrunner, though. That's how you know.
I'm sorry. I have to say the worst thing that I've ever had happen was when I was doing, and don't laugh, but Mario Party 2 minigame coaster. I used to speedrun that,
Yeah, that
and I
sounds
was one of the
fun.
guys. I was one of the guys who ended up popularizing that because nobody ran it except me for the longest time. I lost a run that was on pace to be sub 30 at the time, which was, I thought, near impossible. I put my foot through a table.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh.
Yeah, I had like this little side table from IKEA, and granted, it was a cheapie. It was like $15, but I put my foot through it.
Shit.
No big deal.
How do you even do that?
It's shitty plywood, and
Like,
I'm
just
tall as
enough
hell
force?
with enough downward stomping force to push through a table and lodge my foot in it.
Oh my god.
All right, fair. I don't know what
Speedrunning,
answer I was
ladies and
expecting.
gentlemen.
you know?
So what we do here is we angle my foot just right so that I clip through the table.
It saves about 3 seconds,
It makes
and that's how you get emergency room any
it
percent.
makes me very angry, but it does speed up the ambulance's arrival time by about 3 seconds.
Now,
And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna leave this metal piece in my pocket so that I can clip out of bounds during the MRI scan.
So good.
now, so you've had a lot of streaming experience, and I understand that from the start of this quarantine at March 20th, when Animal Crossing came out, you started drastically increasing the time that you streamed from your typical 4 to 6 hours to now 12 to 18.
Mhm.
Can you tell us a little bit about like how that transition or has either helped or hurt your Twitch channel, or helped and hurt you in general?
So you started out by trying to compete in a very popular time slot. I used to stream around 2 o'clock and try to run till about 8 o'clock. In my first, I want to say like 2-3 years of streaming, that was kind of the staple for me because I would generally lose a lot of viewership near the later hours of the day, around 7, 8, 9 o'clock. I used to actually dip in viewership quite a bit because most of my viewership was West Coast or East Coast oriented. So, we would hit 7, 8, 9 o'clock and it would be close to midnight on the East Coast. A lot of people would just bounce. So for a while, I was competing in a highly populated, highly competitive time slot. And it wasn't until about, 3, 4, almost 5 months ago when I had my first stint with the ER visits where, was thrown up, couldn't function. And that really threw off my schedule to a point where I was like, oh, crap, I really can't do this particular time slot anymore. And I starting later and later and later, what was usually a 2 o'clock start time started becoming 3 and then 4 and then 5. And then I noticed around the time that I starting at 5, I was like, oh, I have higher average viewership for some reason. Huh. So
Wow.
5 o'clock ended up becoming 7 o'clock for the same exact reasons. Ended up being very sick, very tired, trying to rebalance my life. And then one day I was playing Final Fantasy VII Remake. And I thought I was near the end of the game. Spoiler alert, I wasn't. And I ended up streaming for 16 and a half hours.
Oh.
But during that stream, I noticed something really intense. And that is my viewership only went up the entire time.
Wow.
And here's
Wow.
what I found out. I lucked into what is possibly the most grueling but genius time slot I have ever figured out on Twitch. And that is if I start at 7 and I run for at least 10 to 12 hours, and I can do this every other day, which is what I usually have it set up as, I can capitalize on the tail end of West Coast time zone and East Coast time zone all the way till midnight, 1 o'clock. People start to taper off there. Boom. You have Australia, you have the UK and everybody starting to wake up. They start coming into chat because by midnight, 1 o'clock, it is 8, 9 a.m. for them, if not already later in the afternoon. So viewership starts going up. 4 a.m. rolls around. You got people in the Philippines and Asia coming in now. And then guess what? By the time I hit 7, 8, 9 a.m., I got my own time zone back.
Wow.
So
That's actually
Interesting time zone.
So I quite literally am hitting almost every time zone by just having the ability to go for 10 hours. And I do that by just being nocturnal. Because a lot of people think that I'm staying awake during the day. I will schedule various tweets. Am I still in here?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I will schedule various tweets and just let them run, whenever they get posted. But more often than not, I'm crashing during the day. I'll finish stream and I'll stay up for a little bit to run errands, but I'm usually crashing by 12, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and then I'm waking up at 6, so that when I do start stream, I'm fresh. So 10 hours doesn't feel like anything to me.
Yeah, fun fact, guys, for the people listening now, Mike's not actually here with us at all. This is
all
pre-recorded.
pre-recorded.
See, I'm such a genius that this pre-recorded message has anticipated everything they are going to say and is reacting accordingly. I'm just so good at my
He's
job.
just that good,
It's
ladies
crazy.
and gentlemen. He's
that
just
good,
that
guys.
good.
200 IQ.
I made over 18 million scripts to account for any instance of dialogue exchange between us right now.
damn.
So how do you feel about raccoons?
Love them. Trash pandas are my favorite.
He thinks of everything.
18 million scripts.
And also, like to bounce off what you were saying with like all the time zone things. Typically, when you're like going for the late nights, you're the butt end of a lot of raids, and that can introduce you to a lot of new people as well.
yeah.
So, like
Oh, yeah.
from the West Coast and East Coast, when people are ending, they're looking for someone to send their people off to, and they see you, they say like, "Hey, he's always live at this time. Let's go give him a raid."
Yeah, I have to say, I this slot is also very lucky in that I am considered the, oh, well, guess he's on raid target.
That's literally the only reason I raid Smirky, to be honest.
You know,
I looked through my follow list. I'm like,
Right.
Smirky's the only one live.
It's like 3 a.m. and we're still going at it,
And then he'll stream until 6 a.m. The dude was a mad lad for a while.
I mean,
Okay, I'm not that mad anymore, but
I mean, you could be.
You're
I
mad.
mean, all you got to do is just lose
I
it.
could be.
Stop being nice. Go ape shit.
Dude, just stop going to
Curse,
college.
curse.
bro.
Right?
Curse.
Just drop the cool
drop out
college
right
kid
now.
attitude and go back to being the street punk we know and love.
Yeah.
Yeah, get that partnership under review.
Get your street cred back, man. Let's see a strike on that account.
Say fuck, Smirky. Say fuck.
Whoa, hey, I said get your street cred back, not commit blasphemy. Jesus.
Jesus Christ.
Wow, what did I just say about blasphemy?
But no, it's actually really interesting to see your Twitch journey, and I got to witness that with with Casey as I was pining for her. But that's a different story for another day.
Wow, nice casual advertising for your girlfriend, dude.
Wow.
Yeah, man. Hey, I gotta
Excellent.
TV slash
sometime.
Casey
I
Buzz.
gotta sim
Wow.
sometime, man. To go on a different topic, tell us about what you've done with voice acting, because I know you're a huge voice actor in terms of your vocal range, and me and Noah know about it right now because we hired you on for Whitestorm in our audiobook. Subtle plug on that one.
It's progress.
So tell us more about how you got into voice acting and what you've been doing with it.
So voice stuff is just kind of running my family. My dad is a news reporter and a journalist and has been for, over 30 years. My mother is a former stage actress and singer herself. So, I was always surrounded by that kind of stuff. I learned how to properly enunciate from a very early age, learned really good vocal control from my mom. And ultimately those talents just kind of sat for a long time up until I was about 19, 20 years old. And when I started doing content creation and people started hearing the range of my voice, they were like, whoa, you should try doing some voice work. And, to that effect, I haven't done a whole lot. I have gotten a few smaller gigs. Oh, hello. Wow, that was scary. A ghost just knocked a mouse off my desk. I'm terrified. I think my house is haunted.
No.
I know I said I wanted the spooks to happen, but not this early.
Someone watched Nightmare
It's never
Night.
too early.
You guys, it's Nightmare Night 2.
It's
This
Nightmare
time
Night
we do it
2.
live.
Night two.
We're doing it live.
But yeah, I ended up just kind of, sitting on those talents for a long time until, people started saying I should take advantage of that and do something a little bit more seriously with it. I got approached by William Anderson at the suggestion of, I forgot who suggested me to them, but he was one of the music producers for MLP, and he's like, hey, I need a rap vocalist to do something for for this thing that I'm doing with Disney. Would you be able to do that? So he ended up paying me to do the rap vocals for the Pac-Man and the Ghostly Adventures cartoon, which my buddy IB Concept ended up coming over for that, and he's also doing the vocals on that track with me, so it's both of our voices overlaid, and we quite literally tore through a 24-pack of vanilla Coke in a weekend and sat in my bedroom, both of us on our knees so we could both be at mic level doing this for him, and it was just so fucking good, dude. It was such a good time.
Great.
And then afterwards, our buddy Rhymeflow came over and we all played Super Mario 3D World on the Wii. It was good times. It was super good times. But yeah.
What else have you done in terms of voice acting?
The only other official credit that I have right now, because I haven't pursued it as seriously as I would have liked to over the past several years, is I was Santa Claus in the most recent Christmas advert for the Golden State Warriors.
Merry
yeah,
Christmas.
I heard about that.
Yeah,
I heard about that.
My friend Zelly actually works as the head of the media and advertising department over there, and he was like, yeah, we need somebody to do a good Santa. Can you do a good Santa? And I sent him a little snippet of me trying to do Santa, and apparently his producers were like, that's it, him, do it.
That's the guy.
So I'm actually logged into their vendor system, and unfortunately sports are canceled at the moment, but should they ever come back into full swing, I am in their system to do more work with them. So
That's really cool.
That's
cool.
amazing.
yeah, I'm really
It's
thankful for that. It's really
It's a
cool.
lot of these small starts, isn't it? And then your buddy Sean has been doing a lot of stuff too. So has he been referencing you to a lot of other games that you want to try out?
So here's the thing. When it comes to that kind of thing, a voice actor generally isn't going to put their neck on the line for somebody, even if they know them in this kind of instance. Sean has been giving me pointers and helping me to construct a voice reel and just what I should generally do to make something a little bit more professional. In the meantime, though, I am trying to get some good voice snippets together so that Gear can kind of hodgepodge me something together in the meantime that I can pitch to different people. Gear, fantastic. I love you.
Twitch TV set you up.
But yeah, when it comes to that kind of thing, a voice actor can't really just, pitch you around to random companies, random games and stuff like that, much as they would like to, because what that does is that sets a precedent where the company is going to be going off that person's word, and if the company trusts them and takes them at that word, and you end up underperforming, that reflects badly on you and the person who recommended you in the first place, and that's something that I would never ask him to do, nor would I want him to do, because that's That's not fair. That's really not fair to him. So to that end, he has been giving me pointers to help me construct something that I can use in the future to pitch myself for more official roles and, you know, more professional roles. But no, he has not been like, you know, pimping me out much as I would love that, just because it is not something that A, I would want him to do, and B, that he should be doing because it puts himself at risk. You know what I mean?
I did not know that was a thing. So thank you for informing us on that one. I did not know that.
Yeah, a lot of and that's something that a lot of people, you know, tend to overlook. I mean, it's like if you have somebody like, you know, for example, if you have a family member who works in something like, you know, carpentry, and somebody's just like, yo, I need my house done, and you're like, oh, well, my cousin or my brother does something, and then your cousin or brother ends up underperforming, you know, that's going to reflect badly on you because you recommended them. It's the same thing when it comes to, you know, a bigger VA recommending you to studios or to companies or to game makers, because again, that's them putting their neck out on the line for you. And if you end up not doing well, then that's just, you know, bad for all parties. And again, I don't want to do that to Sean. I don't want to do that to anybody. I'd rather earn that prestige. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
Makes sense.
Does anyone else have any questions for Mike, specifically out of all this discussion?
Noah has a story.
Oh, I have a story.
Do you have a story?
Yeah. So I broke my glasses the other day, and I went to the
Wait, you want to tell us how you broke your glasses?
I put them on my bed and I rolled over.
Okay, is there more to that story?
No, there isn't more. I'm willing to tell.
He's willing to tell.
Anyways, I went to the lens crafter, and I go to pick up my glasses, and then I pull up my phone because that's my wallet and stuff, and they're like, "No, leave." And I was like, "Huh? Leave? What do you mean leave?" They were like, "You just leave," and I was like, "Oh, okay."
Sounds like my pot shop. Anytime you bring out your phone, they're like, nope, put it away or leave. You're not allowed to...
Yeah, but it was like he was getting ready to pay for them repairing his glasses,
Nope.
and they were like, "No, you're done." And he's all like, "What?" They're like, "You have your glasses back. You can go."
We
And
don't
he
want
was
your
like,
money. Take your crap and
"Okay."
go. We're done.
Yeah.
We had to touch it. That
Oh.
was payment enough. It was
This
great.
transaction is over.
We had to touch your germs.
This transaction is
Does anyone
over.
else here? Does anyone else here wear glasses or get glasses repaired or anything and know anything about the process? Are you supposed to pay?
I have 20/20 vision. Frankly, 20/20 has been shit.
I hear if you...
Yeah, I know.
I hear if
feel
you have 420/69 vision, all of your glasses are free.
Yo,
Wow.
no.
that's what it is.
Yo, how do
I
I
mean,
get
I
you
mean,
some
that
of
might just be it.
2069 vision?
That's
Yeah, I don't know what the deal was. I tried Googling it, and it was like $25 to get your lenses repaired. Or if you have insurance, it's free. And I'm like, do you have insurance? And Noah's like, what's insurance?
Hey, I just qualified for that. I have an insurance card. Too bad my doctors haven't gotten back to me in over a fucking month.
oh.
Yo, that sounds about
Yeah, I'm about to
right.
call my insurance company up later tonight because I'm just like,
Don't blame me.
Yeah, I actually think I lost my health insurance benefits last month. I need to do something about that.
oh
Oops.
no.
Mhm. Oh.
Yeah, you know,
'cause-
maybe you should do something about.
Yeah, I'm
kind
gonna
of
do something about
important.
that. Yeah, a little bit. You
Just
think?
a bit.
So Mike,
I've been
what would
busy.
you say your best voices are? Your best impressions, either best voices or something you can do relatively well. What would you say your best ones are?
Oh man, see, I don't know because it depends on what stage of warmed up my voice is. Where it is right now, my entire falsetto range is shot. So if I try to do Minnie Mouse or somebody, I'm not in tight. Yeah, no, my falsetto's shot right now. When I have my falsetto range available, I can do a lot of my better voices. But as for my quote unquote best, I honestly don't know. Because I don't really have a favorite that I like to do. Actually, that's a fucking lie. I love doing the
Your
heavy.
Bentley was pretty freaking amazing.
I
won't lie.
love doing Bentley, but I love doing the heavy from TF2.
Ooh.
Oh no! Heavy's dead!
That's pretty
That
good.
is really good.
But that thing, it scares me.
That's
Who
really
touched
good.
Oh
Sasha?
man,
Who
that is
touched my
amazing.
gun?
Wow, that one was that man. I felt that one right there.
Yeah, the heavy is one of my favorite ones to do because when I finally get
That deep, gravelly growl, it feels so good on the voice.
Yes, I completely understand.
But yeah, and then of course,
There's the tried and true Bentley, which is easy standby.
The Bentley is so
I
good.
honestly have no idea how I do this voice. I cannot stress to you, my body flexes in an odd way. I stop breathing through my nose. The next thing I know, I'm going, Sly, your ass is so juicy. I just want a slice of the cake.
I've edited so much of his Bentley voice, and I still can't get enough of it. I still can't. It's like
Bro, I catch myself like in Matt's streams. Like I'll rate him after I'm done. I'm like, oh, he's editing. What's he? Oh, he's editing that. Okay, I'll leave it up for a bit.
just like I had so much fun with just like the slide, jump and press the circle button to land on my ass. I had so much fucking fun with that.
I'm pretty sure I read that in a comic. That's not my own creation.
And then then slide 2, like World 1, it's like I'm not comfortable with swearing. You want me to say fuck?
I'm sorry. I think my favorite moment was just the bear that came out of nowhere, as well as the bear arguing with the moose.
Yes.
God.
God.
One of my best moments, honestly, just the bear getting
my
pissed.
God.
Like, no. Oh yeah, but I
The
mean,
bear attacked you 3 times in that video. 3 times.
dude, that bear's a murderer, serial killer, dude.
It is. And if you guys want, Mike will be starting to upload some of these videos that we're mentioning on his own YouTube channel, which Aaron, if
Yes.
you want to put him is in the description, please do that.
You know what? I've done it every single week up until now. I think this is the one that we don't give credit to our guests. What do you guys
Draw the
think?
line in the
We're
stream.
drawing the line.
See, what you gotta do is you gotta make a One Piece style call out, like,
You can have all of my content if you can find it. I left it all in one drive.
Legends of the Forbidden Temple. Come right back after these messages.
oh my god, dude, Legends of the Forbidden Temple. What a
Legends of
fucking
the Hidden
throw.
Temple.
That's my shit, dude.
The Silver Monkey Idol.
And she make her way through the pyramid.
Oh, I always wanted to compete on that as a kid. I said someday. Someday. Now
Dude,
someday
that
will
and
never
guts.
come.
That and guts was
That
crazy.
Guts and Wipeout, I've always
Oh
wanted-
man, no, nobody? Slime Time
Go
Live?
wipe out.
No, I
Really?
I'm not
Nickelodeon.
gonna- Double Dare was another one.
Double Dare was amazing.
Wait, what was the Nickelodeon show?
Slime
again?
Time Live, dude.
Wait, I think I remember that. Yeah.
Answer the wrong question and get slime.
It's slime.
Hosted by Nick Cannon.
Hosted by Nick Cannon. Good Christ.
Yeah, did that just send you on a fucking time travel
It
back
did.
to the
Oh,
1990s?
God.
Early 2000s. Yo,
Holy-
what's up, y'all? It's Nick Cannon. Welcome to Slime Time Live.
God.
I will never not see Nick Cannon as the Slime Time Live host ever.
But you know, I've realized Nick Cannon's like the worst rapper of all time.
I don't know, man.
I didn't even really know he was a rapper. I just thought he was like, yeah, I hosted stuff. Now I host America's Got Talent. That's all I'm good at for, you know?
But thank you. If no one's got any further questions for Mike, I would like to personally thank him for
Yes, thank you so much, Mike, for coming on
Oh,
by.
absolutely. Happy to do it.
because this has been a.
And I know it
blast.
goes without saying, right? But I was joking. I'm absolutely putting.
Oh
you
yeah,
down.
no. I totally know. I'm just saying, man. Look, the pirate hunt for my links would be way more entertaining. You could have a contest.
It would be.
Have like a website with like hidden like language where you try to like crack the code.
Right,
and it gives you like a piece of the puzzle.
You got to crack open.
Your first clue is a QR code hidden somewhere in this video.
If you have a piece of red filament from an old pair of 3D glasses, you can decipher the code on this screen.
God.
Yeah, there you
The only 3D glasses I ever had was in my Sly 3 case.
See, everything's gonna be kosher for everybody online until I make you go out somewhere to find a geocache with the next clue.
Oh God, I remember geocaching. That was like
Jesus.
a thing back in college.
Oh man, geocaching used to be so interesting, and now I'm like, I don't want a rusty screw with a note.
I don't want to go outside.
Right? Like, I'm sorry, geocaching ain't worth the risk.
Yeah, I'm sorry. This is quarantine in America. I'm gonna
God.
stay inside and play video games and get paid by the government.
Oh my
Get me
god.
started on everything I've seen on Twitter. Holy, do not. Oh my God. But I think,
Anyways.
Noah, if you want to like get us out of here. go ahead with the outro.
Absolutely. Thank you, everybody, so much for watching this episode of the Speed Chat Only podcast. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and a subscription down into the YouTube section below. Please check out everybody in the description below. Check us out on SoundCloud and Spotify. And as always, from our homes to yours, thank you so much for watching. Mike, thank you so much for coming on. You've been such a wonderful and excellent guest.
Thank
it was
you.
so interesting to talk about you and with you about just like everything. And thank you so much for coming on. Say goodbye, everybody.
Later.
See ya. See ya, guys.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.